Okay, so today is going to be kind of a lot. It's going to be a little bit busy. I mean, I guess I actually don't know how busy it's really going to feel. I think it just kind of feels like it's going to be busy. What is this reflection? Oh, it's a reflection of my spoon. I think it just feels like it's going to be really busy because of all the driving around, or I guess just how long the driving around is going to take. I thought that today I would take you guys along for what a day in my life can look like as an equine science student, as an equestrian, horse owner, as a dog mom. We have a lot of little things to do today. So Padfoot, who is currently sitting in front of me here, my dog, he has to get some x-rays done this morning for his hips, which means that he has had to fast since last night. So he had his dinner and then he hasn't eaten since, and he couldn't have water after 6 a.m. So I'm gonna be dropping him off at the vet, and then from there I need to do a feed store run, and we'll have to go out to the barn, and we'll have to pick him up at some point. Got some schoolwork, got some content to do, but starting with some hot chocolate in my Raw Performance dog food mug, because why not? Oh my god, it's burning my hands.
All right, buddy, you ready to go?
Hold that, bud. He's trying to find the cookie jar. Smells the cookie jar. It's okay, bud. You're gonna be like asleep and drugged out for most of it, so you won't even remember. My hair is just a big mess this morning. Jeez Louise. Okay, just dropped Padfoot off for his x-rays. Originally, my plan was to have everything ready in the car so that I could go straight from here to the feed store to pick up my order, but unfortunately, I was not quite fast enough with getting everything ready this morning, so I didn't have all the stuff together that I was going to need for the afternoon. So I am going to head back home to kind of pull the rest of that stuff together, and also probably put on some mascara, just because I feel like I look tired when I don't have visible eyelashes, and I kind of like how I look with it on. So I'm gonna head home to finish getting ready, pull the rest of my stuff together, and then we will head out to the feed store. This is the barn fit. Obviously there will be more layers on top of this. These are Elation Diamond winter full seat breeches. I got them on sale during the warehouse sale, thank god, because these are normally $180, which I was not paying, but I got them for $95, which is still a good chunk of change, but you need warm layers for the winter. And then this is a Temtech top. I have this top in 3 colors now. I also got this on sale for like 40 bucks. I absolutely love them. These are my favorite riding tops. But yeah, this is the base layer for the fit, and then there will be more layers to put on top. All right, we are now off to the feed store to go pick up my order of shavings. I have ordered 10 bags of shavings, which I'm really hoping will be able to fit in here. Like, I really don't know. If I can't fit all of them in, then I guess I'll just like return the ones that don't fit. Hopefully you can return them, I guess. I don't know. I'm really hoping I can put them on here. I will give a little bit more information on what we're using them for when we get to the barn. I always feel like such a novice at these things because I don't back in, because I'm bad at backing in. I just load the other way. Well, in case anyone was wondering, this is what it looks like when you put 10 bags of shavings into a Subaru Outback. I could have stacked them on top, but I like having the ability to look out my back window. So my original plan was to do a little bit of work with Polly first, working on taking her up the hill, because she has kind of started to refuse going up the hill again, which I don't think is actually purely behavioral. I think it's more so physical. I have theories about her physical health. I think she might have something going on with her iliopsoas muscle, in addition to problems that I know are in either the fetlock or the pastern of her back left leg. So like, I think it's physical as to why she won't go up the hill, because she's stiffening up from a cold. So like, I don't want to make her go up the hill if it's uncomfortable or painful for her, but at the same time, I do need to be able to get her to walk a little bit, because when you're in the cold and something like arthritis or an injury stiffens up, the only way to really allow that to loosen up a little bit is to move. And that's really the only option I have to move, because I'm not able to go down that way anymore. And this little roundabout here is like covered in ice. It's also like, it's not a huge hill. You guys have seen it before. It's not really that steep, but Polly is just like, has like complete lack of like flexion in her not flexion, like hinging in her pelvis right now. But anyways, that was originally my plan. And I was going to do that and then deal with the shelter. However, since I got caught talking to my friend for like 30 minutes in there, like in the arena, it is now windy and there's like blowing snow, but it's not fully snow because it's not actually that cold. So it's kind of just like melting, and it's like enough of the snow blowing that it's going to affect visibility. I don't know how visible that is on camera, but it's like quite blowy, and I kind of need like all of the visibility to be able to work with Polly safely. So
Hi, pretty lady. Hi.
all right, I got her food all mixed up here. I'm going to bring her out so she can have her food, and I will maybe pick out her feet depending on how she's feeling about it. I'm going to try to do her feet. I really have no idea how this is going to go right now. She has not been... Was that necessary? She didn't even finish her food. Which, like, if it was just beet pulp, I wouldn't mind. Beet pulp is not that expensive. But the omneity, that's a different story. She knows what I'm trying to do, so she's trying to position herself so that she can face the grass. Polly? No. Honey, I'm sorry. But feet are important to do. I can start with your back feet if that would be better. You have to stand. Good girl. Good girl. Lift. She's thinking about walking right now. She just shifted her weight as if she was gonna... You can do it. Good girl. Then for her front feet, I like to hold them and give her the reward. Hold it for another second, give her a little rub. Put it down. Good girl. Good job. All right, that's halfway. Can we do the other half? Good girl. I'm gonna do your feet now, okay? I'm not even sure if you can still see us. Hopefully you can. Good girl. This is her hardest foot, so anytime that she even acknowledges that I'm asking for it, like that, where she lifts it slightly, I tell her, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. And I'll give her a little scratch. Same with, oh, you're okay. So I don't know if the camera caught that. Shh. But what just happened was she knuckled over on her hind left leg. And that is one of the problems that we're dealing with her right now, health-wise. I think that there's something going on in either the fetlock or the pastern, like the pastern joint. And unfortunately, she was supposed to get x-rays done to look at it a little over a week ago. But unfortunately, through unforeseen circumstances, no fault of my vets and no fault of mine, we're unable to have vets out right now. And so we have to wait a couple weeks to get that looked at, which really sucks. It's really, really unfortunate. But yeah, it is. I know, sweetie. You're being a good girl. But why don't I do your back foot? How about that? Shh. Oh, stand, please. Can I have this one?
job.
I am so mad at myself. I'm so pissed. Like, oh my god. So I had my mic on, my DJI mic mini, which is not a cheap thing, and I had the receiver was in my phone and my phone was in my pocket, but the receiver was kind of sticking out of my pocket, and I just went down to pull out my phone to film something, and I saw that the receiver was gone and the only thing left in my phone was the connector. I can't find the receiver anywhere. Okay, I'm going to take another quick look to see if I can find it, but the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the shelter. So I bought a bunch of shavings for the shelter. I started cleaning out the shelter because while my barn does a lot of really great things, and I love my barn for a lot of reasons, one of the things they do not do is they do not clean out the shelters for the outdoor horses, and so I asked permission for me to do it. I said, can I clean it out? Can I get shavings and bed it? They said yes, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so we got some horses in here, which is of course not great, and they've created a lot more manure for me to pick out and ground for me to level out, but yay. There's nowhere to put a tripod in here, so this is the view that you get, unfortunately. So right now I'm not able to use any equipment from the barns, which means I can't use a wheelbarrow, which means that instead of being able to transport the manure out of the field for right now, I'm just putting it in a pile outside the shelter, and then at a later date we'll bring in the machinery to pull it out. I did actually pull out pretty much all of the manure that was in here last week, but of course they've filled it up now since then. And we had snow and rain since then, so the ground is all soft and like muddy and wet. And ideally I would have done this when everything was dry, but it just didn't work out that way. So I'm not going to pull out absolutely everything, because that would take forever. I'm just going to pull out as much as I can here. Okay, so most of this here is muck. Some of this is like broken up manure, but this is about as clean as I can get it right now, considering half of the ground is frozen, and also they're standing right there. I think it's just at this point, I think I just need to put the shavings down. Hopefully when I bring out the shavings, they will move, and then I can I kind of tried to even this part out. Hopefully I can even out where they're standing. Carrying one of these in here was hard enough. I don't even want to think about the fact that I have to do it 9 more times. What am I doing? I've worked in a barn before. I'm not an idiot. I fear that 10 is going to be way too much. Okay, so this is one bag emptied. I've carried in 4 more. Oh, that's a horrible sound. I'm so sorry, headphone users. We'll see how much round 4 covers. I honestly am worried that I bought too many. I don't really have anywhere to keep savings. So I don't know what I'll do if there's extra. See, now I look like someone that's actually worked in a barn. Totally forgot how to open shavings. To be fair, the first barn I ever worked at, which is where I spent the majority of my stable hand time, we used pelleted bedding, so not shavings, which honestly is so much easier as far as cleaning the stalls, because it sifts way better than shavings do, but it's a lot more labor intensive. You want to bed it kind of deep so that it does the job, but you also don't want it to be so deep that they're like tripping in it. So there's a bit of section at the front there This still needs coverage yet. And then it's kind of thin coverage over here. So I honestly, this is 5. I think 7 might be perfect. I think 2 more will be good. I can have a better look. This is kind of what we're looking at right now. So you can see there's just a couple spots. It's a little bit more sparse, and then there's that front section there. And I might just pull it out slightly past the border there, and then this spot here needs to be filled in. So I think I'll bring out 2. I'll open 1 first, and if that's enough, great. If not, then I'll open the 7th. Okay, I know I said that 7 would be the perfect number, but I actually think that 8 will, because I think the back half is perfect. I think the front half here just needs a little bit more. Like, it's just like it's kind of shallow in a few spots. So I think I'll do 1 more, and then I'll have 2 left over, which will be decently easy enough to store in my car, I think. And then I have them for the next, whenever it needs to, you know, it needs more bedding. This isn't something where I'm not planning to keep it like fully bedded constantly throughout the rest of the winter. I just want to give it like a good base. Well, I might keep it bedded, who knows, we'll see. But I mostly just wanted it to be clean, and I wanted to give it a good base. And honestly, like, standing in here, like, just the difference between there being no shavings to now there being shavings, like, it's already significantly warmer in here, which is also a nice benefit. But all right, I'm gonna go grab the last bag. See you in a minute. Okay, that is 8 bags, and I think it's looking pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is looking now. Of course, the hope is that they will still use it. I mean, these horses have all lived outside for however many years. I doubt that shavings will deter them, but Polly seems a little bit skeptical about it. Hopefully they'll figure it out and they'll realize that it's actually nice in here. The footing is much softer. Like, one of my main concerns was thrush. I don't know if you guys got a good look at Polly and Fran's feet when they were standing in here, but like their feet like dig into the mud, and Polly is so prone to thrush. And like last winter, one of the 2 main things I'm trying to avoid are, number 1, tender-footedness, because last winter the manure was all in these big piles, and then it froze, so you couldn't really get rid of it. And then they're all standing like on their toes because there's no other way to stand because of all of these mountains of frozen manure, and Polly got very tender-footed from that. So I'm trying to avoid that. I'm also trying to avoid them standing in like thawed manure muck and water, because there was another thing we dealt with last year was, if it will freeze, great, everything's frozen, everything's contained, but then when we get a slight thaw, like when it's like, oh, -2, -1, 0, 1 degree, because every once in a while, because, you know, climate change is screwing us over here, just like it is everywhere else, the temperature will fluctuate a bit, and when we get a little bit of a thaw, the ice on the manure will literally, because the ice like accumulates on it, will thaw, and then you get these like muck puddles, which I think I have a few photos of. I'll insert them if I do. And I would just see Polly standing in them, and I was like, this is why she has chronic thrush that I cannot get rid of for the life of me, is because no matter what product I throw at her feet, she's still standing in the source of the problem. So I am hoping that by removing all of that manure that was in here, which, like you can see, it's literally a pile right there, and we will move that once the current restrictions at the barn are lifted, then I will either, not let that fly away. I will either ask if they can have somebody come in like with machinery to pull it out. Do they use the tractor for that? I think they do. Or I will do it myself, which I'm more than happy to do with a wheelbarrow. It's just that right now I can't use any equipment from the barns. So it is there for now. The horses don't seem to care. I'd rather it be out there in that spot where none of the horses ever stand than in here where they all want to be right now because of, you know, the weather change. Hopefully this will provide some good footing for them. Yeah, I won't ramble on too much more. I'm gonna go say goodbye to Polly and then head out, because my guess is, I think it's close to 2 o'clock now, which means that I might be getting the call to pick up Padfoot soon, and I need to go home and change before I can do that. So yeah, I will see you shortly. say I have more snacks. I do not have more snacks. I took my my treat pouch off of me. Yeah, you're a tired boy, aren't you? So my dad and I just picked up Padfoot from the vet, and Padfoot has had his dinner now, which he's very happy about, but he also is tired. He is sleeping on my bed right now. The vet said that he will probably just conk out because he still has a pain med in his system. So Padfoot does have hip dysplasia. It is minor. It's not horrible or anything. He also seems to have some sort of strain in, was it his right knee, I think? Yeah, which we think is due to compensating for the hips. And what my vet said is basically that we kind of, for the most part, keep doing what we're doing as far as, you know, his diet, keeping him lean, giving him the Cartrophin regularly. And there is a supplement that he recommends that we put him on. So we're going to, I'm going to go out and get some and start him on that. And hopefully that will help. He said that, because I was worried that he was going to need surgery, and what my vet said is basically that most orthopedic surgeons will say, unless your dog is like completely crippled, don't perform hip surgery. There is apparently like an 85% success rate with the surgery, but there's also around an 85% success rate with just medical management. So we are going to go that route. Obviously, I'm not happy to hear that he has hip dysplasia, but I am happy to hear that my vet is not overly concerned and that there are things that we can do. So we're gonna do those things and just keep managing him as best as possible. That is the outcome of the x-rays. He is very tired. He's a little bit sore because they had to kind of maneuver him quite a bit for the images, but yeah, I think he'll be feeling more himself tomorrow morning. But yeah, that was the outcome of the x-rays. Obviously not thrilled that he has hip dysplasia, but I'm happy that it's minor and that it's not something else that would be worse. So dinner and school, I think, for the rest of the evening. Bye.